over.
Good morning and welcome back to a new episode of Road Tripping with Rachel. So I'm in the car, obviously. I'm driving across northern Missouri. And I've realized, I've mentioned a few times on this channel that I work in admissions and that I'm actually a director of admissions. But what I haven't necessarily talked about is the fact that not only am I a director of admissions, I am also currently serving in as an admissions counselor. My office is currently a little short-staffed, so I'm helping fill in one of the roles, and then because both roles are extremely important. One is a very administrative role, I'm responsible for processing a lot of the paperwork that involves students being admitted and accepted into the university and getting stuff recorded. The other half is going out and meeting the students, and it's the sales part of the job. So both are extremely important positions within my office, but the admissions counselor side, sometimes I do have to farm out some of those responsibilities to some people in my office just to help me be able to balance doing both of them. So I wanted to take you guys kind of on a week with me. So there's normally about 1 to 2 weeks in the fall semester where I have to fulfill my duties as admissions counselor and then admissions director back to back, continuously. So this is this week. This week and next week. So I will be I'm currently, like I said, on my way into Kansas City. I'll take you guys along for the ride, kind of give you an idea of what life as in a dual role looks like. I am out to visit a high school, and then I am going to be going to a college fair tonight. And then since I am going to be in Kansas City, my best friend lives there, so I am going to be staying with her tonight. And then a few things had to get rescheduled. I was originally supposed to do this high school visit tomorrow, but they ended up scheduling me over something else that they had already planned, and so I was able to had the flexibility to move it to this morning. And so tomorrow I still got to try and get some stuff lined up, but I have at least one school I'm really going to try and get into because I have a student coming from that school, and it would be the perfect opportunity for me to just sweep in and grab a transcript or something for him. That way I can make an admissions decision for him. Then we also would have and then I have a large group visit day that's coming up on Friday at the university. And then I will be back on the road on Sunday to attend a conference that is hosted down by Lake of the Ozarks in Osage Beach. That is where I will be going in order to meet with a bunch of counselors that are going to be down there. And then from there, I am driving into Southern Illinois to attend the Illinois Baptist State Annual Meeting. So if you're in Missouri, or if you're in SBC Life, Southern Baptist Convention Life, you know that this is about the time of year that a lot of states are having their annual conventions. And so Missouri's was last week. It's always over my birthday week. And then the Illinois one is next week. And so I don't go to the Missouri one because the university I work for is affiliated with the Missouri Baptist Convention. But we have a really close relationship, though, with the Illinois Baptist State Association. So it's the same thing. They're both conventions. Just one's in Illinois, one's in Missouri. And I attend that one. So, but I'm going to take you along for the ride for some of the places that I'm going. There is a lot of car time, so we might end up having some chit chats along the way as I'm up and going. And who knows? You might learn something along the way. I do enjoy educating people about what I do and being able to really talk about the benefits of higher Christian education. Although I do recognize there there are some benefits that are going to come from the public spectrum as well. I am the product of having been public high schooled. Well, actually, all through my general education, I went through public school, but then I did the A+ program through Missouri and was able to do my first 2 years of college basically for nothing. My associate's degree cost me about $250 out of pocket that I paid, and then I went on and completed my bachelor's degree at a Christian university. So very passionate about higher ed and very passionate about higher Christian education. And then, of course, if you've been watching my videos, you also know that I'm also a seminary graduate as well. So big proponent of higher Christian education. So we're going to go and talk to some students today, both at the visit and at a college fair. And who knows, I might just hop on at some point and just do a chit chat, because it's going to be a long drive here these next several days. All right, we'll check back in here later.
Still love it. Like,
hello. Okay, so I have finished my school visit, and now this is kind of that part where it's like, okay, I'm over here, time to try and get a few more like unplanned things in. So right now, the school I visited, I actually once substituted at, and so I know where its original location is at, because that's where it was at whenever I worked for them. So I am heading to their original location because another school actually purchased it, and they are now there. So I'm going to visit with them. I have visited a church today, and I made arrangements for me to be able to visit with another school tomorrow, so, and pick up some transcripts for one of the students that I have been working with. So I will check in here. I just made it to the other church, and I am going to see if I can just drop off some information. We are not church, another school, and I'm going to just drop off some information since it's unplanned for me to do a visit with them here today. So, ta-da! Okay, so I actually want to really show you this beautiful church building. I've gone what I like to call like church scavenger hunts before, where I go and I check out like all these different churches just because I think they're so pretty. So this is a very old church building. I'm going to show you real quick. So this right here is the original built church building. You can see it from the side. There's some stained glass windows over here. There's actually a cemetery that's behind it. Absolutely gorgeous. Something that's really fun is through a cemetery and just check and see like how old some of the graves are. There is a grave that is back here that is from the very early 1800s, and when you look at the headstone, it's a lady who was born in Virginia before the American Revolution, and she is back here. So she lived through the War of 1812 and the very beginnings of the 18, and she like ended up here and randomly like in Kansas City, which where I am located at is considered Kansas City. I can talk to you all about how like gerrymandering is a thing when it comes to Kansas City, but just how they have the city lines drawn, it's a convoluted mess for anyone who would ever want to try and figure it out. So this is the original church building, and then we're about to drive over to where they currently have the school, and this is actually now the new church building. Yes, and I'm not putting my seatbelt on because I'm literally driving across the parking lot. So they have, this is, there's what I was talking to you about as far as the cemetery goes. It's beautiful, like it's very well cared for. This is the new church building that now houses a school. And then there are some buildings over to my left that should be torn down. I was in there for substituting at one point, and they are absolutely terrible. Like, it's where you think like the slashers are gonna be, like, no joke. So I used to be back here all the time to substitute. So But they apparently, last time I was out here to visit this particular school, they had their, don't turn off, I know, you can hear it. They actually had, you can see, it's beautiful, like, and they have, like, all the buildings and everything. Last time I was out here, the offices for the school and the church were all in the same building. Now they have been moved all to this building. So we're gonna run in real quick and see if I can drop off some information. Hello, it is going on 8 o'clock now tonight. I have finished the college fair. It was extremely long. So just so you know, the sweet spot for a college fair is really about an hour and a half. This one, they had not hosted a fair in several years since right before COVID. And so I didn't really have a gauge to decide whether or not this was going to be a really good one. And I had decided if I could get into this private school I've been trying to get in for so long, then I would come to this fair. That way it would be worth my while. It was long. It was so long. Sometimes you end up with a really good turnout, and sometimes you don't. This was done to coincide with a parent-teacher conference. I would say if I get asked about this for next year, I just dropped you. If I'm asked about this for next year, I'm not going to do this one next year. It's definitely not worth it. But I am excited because I am spending the night now with my best friend. So I am at her parents' house right now because it's an easy meeting place that is very comfortable to be at. So I am here, and we are going to catch up with each other probably tonight, and then I've got a few places lined up then for me to take care of tomorrow. So before I head back into the university, and a few like business things I gotta take care of. I did that a little bit today, if you saw that clip from the Chick-fil-A off of Berry Road. So the saga continues. So probably tomorrow I will just check in with you probably tomorrow, and then we will see a few clips then whenever I get back on the road next week. Have a good night. I'll check with you later. Okay, so because I need to drive and look around. I mean, you guys got to see at least a couple of the houses. I'm going to go on ahead and be that adult that I'm supposedly, and go and try and finish up what I need to get done today. That way I will be ready to make my drive back into the town and the university. We have a big event that's happening tomorrow, so no matter what time I make it back into town today, I get to go back into work at 10 p.m. And we are going to get set up for the event because it is coinciding with our play. And that is how life sometimes works. So, good morning. As promised, it is Sunday morning. And the time changed. So my body says it's about 8 o'clock. The actual clock says it's 7. So I just packed up the work vehicle. I'm getting into it now, and I'll have to sign it out, but I am on my way now to Margaritaville for a conference with the Missouri Counselors Association. So I'm going to be talking to a whole lot of counselors over the next 2 days, like between today and tomorrow. It only lasts through tomorrow, and then I will head into Southern Illinois, for a bunch of the Illinois Baptist State Association annual meeting. So let's go ahead and get started on this trip. Lots of podcasts are going to be listened to the next couple of days. I just got to Margaritaville. 10 o'clock, so it took me right at 3 hours with a stop in there. And I am happy to say I am not parked in the middle of nowhere this time because I've learned my lesson. I was able to actually get a parallel parking space. Look at me. There were 2 spaces. I did not parallel park. I can't do it. And definitely not going to try that in a company car. But I am significantly closer to where I need to go now. Okie dokie, let's go get set up. Okay, so it is later in the evening. It is like going on like 8 o'clock. And I finished out the day at the conference with the Missouri counselors, and then I have to go back tomorrow. The exhibit hall opens, at 7:30 a.m. I ran through a local grocery store. I got some stuff to eat because I was hungry. They gave us like cold sandwiches, and I just don't roll that way. I just don't. So I picked up some stuff through the local grocery store, and I am going to have some snacks now. So I got enough stuff that I have breakfast is settled for tomorrow morning, and I had some dinner, and then there's enough left over. I will probably eat some of it for lunch tomorrow before I actually hit the road for me to go into southern Illinois. And while I was out, I went on ahead, since I'm down here in the Lake of the Ozarks, Osage Beach area, I went and looked through a couple stores that just aren't that common, like where I live at. So I checked out a Marshalls and Home Goods, and then even though we got a Target, like not all Targets are created equal, and we all know they're not created equal. So I took a stroll around Target. So I'll make sure that I include a few of the clips here.
But I gotta do that order up there in Kansas City. Yeah, 3 minutes off.
Will it say that on it?
Yeah, I guess.
And that way you can kind of get an idea of what I looked at. I picked up something at Target, walked around, decided like, do I like this? Yes. Do I need it? No. Since I said no to the do I need it, I went on ahead and I put it back because I wasn't going to stand in line to spend $5 and then whatever the change would have been for taxes. But we have tomorrow. It's going to be an extremely long day. And then we will be in Illinois for the next leg of our trip. So I will see y'all tomorrow morning. Alrighty, Monday morning. I have a meeting I will have to step away from the conference today to do, but it is time for the Breakfast of Champions whenever I am traveling. So I had swung by a coffee shop yesterday and I picked up a muffin. The muffin, I picked it up yesterday morning because I needed to get breakfast anyway. So let me give you a quick look-see. So we got your yogurt, we got some Chobani, we have a Mimi's muffin. They're delicious. And then I've never had this before, but we're gonna go on ahead and try it. A sea salt caramel. Sometimes I try new stuff when I'm out on the road. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you watched a video of whenever I went to Wichita, like I tried something that had like mushrooms in it, that was like functional mushrooms. I mean, it was okay. Not worth the cost, but it was okay. So we're gonna try Cameron sea salt caramel. I put it in the little mini fridge that's here in my hotel room, but that's where we are. I'll pop back in once I eat. Hello. Okay, I am all finished up in Margaritaville. I have actually been on the road for about an hour and a half. Well, yeah, about an hour and a half at this point. I am on my way into Marion, Illinois. It's going to be really close to Carbondale. So I have a hotel reservation there. That's where I'm headed. So my GPS is actually set to take me through the fastest, most fuel-efficient route to get to wherever I'm going. And it has me taking all these back roads. So I'm currently on Highway 63, which if you're familiar with Missouri, 63 runs north and south through the state, and actually runs through like Columbia. It goes, if you go north on it, you will eventually hit Kirksville. So like highway wise, like I'm like an hour west of like Hannibal, Missouri would probably be like how to, like if you're thinking, like if you think of the state of Missouri, like the up and down, I'm like an hour west of Hannibal. And then like of course like I'm much farther south. So that's mentally like how I think about it. But I'm directly south right now of Kirksville, Macon, Columbia, Jefferson City. Like that's where I'm at right now. So I'm gonna let you go so I can concentrate on driving. Okay, we are in Carbondale, which is only a couple of miles away from Marion, Illinois, which is where the Illinois Baptist State Association annual meeting is going to be taking place. I am in my hotel room. It's pretty big, actually. It's going to be pretty comfortable. I'm always kind of worried when I go through Choice Hotels because it's like it always looks nice online. Most of the time, it ends up being a good decision on my part. Not always, but I've got a king-size bed. I brought my stuff up. I'm getting unpacked. I'm going to be here for 3 nights. And while I was on my way in, I've already found a Barnes & Noble. And then I found a few places that I'm probably going to hit up tomorrow morning. I don't have to actually be at the site until later, so I will probably be looking to see if I can find a coffee shop or something like that that is going to work for me to be able to go sit and take care of like some computer work that I have for work. And then also check out a few places that I would like to really go and just look around at. Because like when you don't stop and look around anywhere, so that means like I would have been going since 7:30 this morning. It's going on 8:30 right now. So that's a 13-hour day. I did stop on my way in. The route my GPS was taking me actually took me close to my parents. So when I was pretty close, I called my mom. I'm like, hey, are you home or almost home? And she's like, yeah, I got a pork roast in the oven. I took the day off. And I'm like, hey, can I swing by for dinner? Why are you here? And it's because she knew I was on my way into Southern Illinois. And she's like, yeah, come on by. We can make up some mashed potatoes, no problem, to go along with the pork roast. So I was able to swing by and have dinner with my mom. My dad, I've said in a different video, works pretty much like a split shift for his job. So he was still at work, so I didn't get to see him. He'll be home probably like in half an hour or something like that. And Mom said she'd let him know that I had swung by on my way for work. But yeah, I got to, benefit the job, so I stopped at home for like an hour before like heading on my way. So anyway, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm sound. There was a whole lot of train tracks I had to pass over, which there are trains that go through the town I live in. However, I'm not close enough to them to like be consciously aware of them. But the route I took to get here whenever I crossed over the Mississippi into Illinois actually had me running parallel to train tracks on multiple occasions. So it was always just a little intimidating, like especially when I come to like where like the railroad crossings, because you just never know. Like when you hear the trains, you don't know. You can't look over and just watch them, so you don't always know, like, hey, will there be a train coming or a light's gonna come on? I don't know. I've never been comfortable crossing train tracks. Like, we did like this whole like train safety thing when I was like 8 years old, and like for whatever reason, it just like it inspired this terror in me for crossing over train tracks. About like, got my bag, you grab the bag, you click your seatbelt, and you just get out of the car if your car ever breaks down on yeah. So anyway, like side route into Rachel Psyche. But yep, I'm here, I'm tired. I'm gonna finish unpacking and probably like just chill for a little while, and then we're gonna get up and get going tomorrow so I can get unpacked at the meeting that I'm going to. I actually had to call my boss and be like, yeah, them counselors took way more of my stuff than what they did last year, because I had planned according to what I've experienced like the last couple of years. They were far more interested in all of my pieces this year, so a lot more counselors came through and like took all my stuff. So I was like, hey, I need more like business cards and more view posters, and hey, can you make some copies of these other documents too? Because I was not expecting them to be taken at the rate that they were. And I had even made a whole lot of copies like before coming. So like I came like with like a stack of, I think I had like somewhere between 40 and 50 copies of each of my like stacks of papers, and one stack got totally cleared out, and then the other stack I still had some copies of, and then another stack I have like I think 4 copies of. So like I got cleared out pretty quickly. Like I made it through the day, but I was like, ooh, we need more stuff. I wasn't expecting that, and I'm normally pretty good at that. So it was a little bit of a shock to be like, oh yeah, I'm like running out of stuff. So my boss will have more stuff tomorrow. Whenever he arrives, I think he's coming in tomorrow night or sometime tomorrow afternoon. So he will have all the extra stuff, and then we'll split most of Tuesday, and then he'll take Wednesday morning, I'll take Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll both like finish up on Thursday. But anyway, we'll see how tomorrow goes once I get all set up. Hey, have a good night. So cute. Okay, so I made it through the first day of the Illinois Baptist Association annual meeting. I went to a coffee shop earlier today called Common Grounds. It was delicious. So if you're ever in the Carbondale, like Marion, Illinois area, if you're looking at going to school at like SIUC, which is University of Southern Illinois, Carbondale, you should totally check out Common Grounds. It was delicious. Super nice barista. She recommended that I go on ahead and try their house mocha, which was white chocolate and caramel. It was divine. It was so good. Great Wi-Fi connection too. I sat in there and I took care of some paperwork for a while, and then you should have just seen a little bit of a pan of what is happening at the IBSA that first day. So tomorrow I'm actually going in later, and then my boss is going to be meeting me, but I am going to end this video here just because you've now seen like basically a full week with me as I have been out and about visiting with churches and schools and getting to talk to people. That's just a little bit of what it's like to be an admissions counselor and to actually be out on the road. There's a whole lot of like, I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm here, I just talked to these people, as well as like taking some time in the evenings to like be like, okay, we're gonna turn off that work brain, and we are going to just go out and do some stuff that we enjoy, check out a few things that aren't necessarily like in my area. Well, I hope this was just kind of informative and just fun for you to kind of see what a week in my life really looks like when I'm doing admissions. And hopefully you will like and subscribe my channel. That way that helps me know what kind of things that you're really liking and enjoying, and then I know what kind of content you are the most interested in actually being able to see. So I will see you guys next week as we go on ahead and we continue on this wonderful road trip as I go through the Bible, life, and then just some time as I am out on the road. So bye.